Hello, everyone. Let me mute this. That way I don't hear it in the background. Lee's having some dinner.
It's nothing unusual. Dinner.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were gonna say something. I didn't finish all of it, but I watched some of the Warhammer TV preview, and it looks kind of cool. So I think if they're right about the price point from what I've seen people talking about and stuff in there, it might be something that would get me to some different things like the battle reports they're going to have and stuff like that, the animations, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, the whole premise with that, admittedly, I was a little bit skeptical when they first sort of mentioned it, but with the way they're addressing it and the extra shows they've got on, so like the painting classes, like the master class in particular, and like I say, as you say, battle reports, the lore with Wade as well. That's very interesting to me.
As long as they got like a decent, if they can start off and just know that, hey, we'll be steady with this content and then we can increase, as long as it's not too sporadic at first. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to get into like month 5 or 6 and be like, oh gosh, the animations are late, this didn't go through, and we have half the shows we thought we were going to have. As long as they avoid that, I think I could see it growing. You know what I mean? Like with more stuff and what they could do.
Oh, totally. I think obviously streaming stuff like this with their own content is definitely a way forward for them.
Yeah.
And to say for the fans as well, having the option to watch some the cartoons in particular, the animations look really cool, and having like insights and watching them, because when we read books we have our own imaginations to kick in, but when you see stuff like that, it sort of just adds that little bit more sort of realism to the entire universe, which is quite interesting and enjoyable to participate in.
Hello, Wolf Lord Lewis. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Toffee Troll, thanks for stopping by. I started 3 of these. I saw so many good entries. It gets so hard to pick. I'm literally going to have, I don't know, I might have like Patreon members pick or something like that. That's another thing. Thanks again for everyone who's like supporting with the Patreon and the coffee. I had like 3 people just join on that, so that really helps. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm doing. Oh wait, Ed Smith. I got distracted. Ed Smith said the assassin model looks amazing, cool too. Yeah, that thing really did look cool. I love that, just kind of up in a perch in that statue head. That was really nice.
Yeah, I also like the fact that they said you get this at the end of your first year.
Well, yeah, I mean they're gonna make it, which fair enough. You know what I mean? That's a great way to do it. It's like it's a cool model, definitely worth money. So hey, if someone wants to, and it's like, if someone made the point, it made me think. They were like, if it's whatever the price was, $6, $7 American, something. They're like, oh, it would already beat out Disney TV for me. And I was like, I could see something like if it's really that specific of content and you really liked Warhammer 40K, because I have Disney too, and there's a couple things I watch, but for the most part, it's like a huge, vast array of stuff I don't really watch, and I could see this being more value.
Yeah, I would say it's what do you say, for us over here, sort of $4.99 a month. It could be, I say, it does look quite interesting, and say having access to those sort of the stories, the animations, all the other stuff as well. So yeah, it could be an interesting sort of thing, especially like hobby related, to have on whilst painting. You can have any of the shows on, or just watch a cartoon.
Like anything like that, you always wonder how it's going to go over. Like you'd have no, is it too much? Are you going to make enough? Or you know what I mean? Is it pricing people out and all that kind of stuff? Like who's going to follow? But they got a big enough following. You know what I mean? Where some people who really like it will just be like, all right, I'll do it. And I mean, it's cool. They picked up all those animators to do stuff. So hopefully, you know what I mean. You get more content and more stuff. It helps those folks get jobs. So hey,
Now, when you think of it, like obviously you get your sort of free model, or two. Is it two free models? I don't know if you can
some
choose
might.
one.
I think there's some you can choose. There's a Oric that like Oric Mega Boss or whatever, the real big one, and he looked pretty cool. So I could see a lot of people wanting that.
Yeah, but say if you was buying that individually over here, you'd be looking sort of £20, £25
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
because of obviously being like one of those character models. So you know when you're looking at it, that you're paying out £60 for the year, but a third of that at least is technically paying for a model.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so and those sort of things you could sell if you didn't want the Auric.
That's
Obviously,
it. Yeah, you know,
you know,
people are going to want those things.
yeah, especially if they only come as an exclusive. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah,
First,
I don't know when it's supposed to start or anything.
July 25th. I paid attention.
I'm the worst. This is like no Sean. I will ask the same question over. Someone will answer me. I'll totally forget it a while later. Ask the same question again. Be like the worst TV interviewer of all time. Like, why did you ask him that same question 3 times?
So, who are you?
Yeah. So what's your deal?
Why are you here? You invited me.
For sure.
Yes, we've had confirmation from Wolf-Lord Lewis that it's 25th of August,
Oh,
and
August.
as well.
Yeah, August 25th. They're pushing it back. Yeah, as long as they don't rush it either. Like a lot of that stuff that obviously they need the money and all that good stuff, but it's like you can botch it a little.
Blag it. I'll just show reruns of Nick Baton rolling ones for his Ultramarines or something. That will entertain people for ages.
Yeah, that's I I happen to okay, what is it? Blood Angels Commander. They had commented somewhere. I don't know where it was. I think they may have talked to me about a commission or they stopped in here and watched it. And it's a YouTube channel. And I usually don't watch battle reports, right? And I
Mm.
happened to go over to their channel and watch one of the videos, and it was such a cool battle report because it was like the overhead camera, the dice camera, the stats, plus another like close up camera, and it was on like
Mm.
a little tripod, and he would just move it to look at the squad that was in combat, and then you would see the dice rolls, and it was really well produced and everything, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And so when I saw that on the TV show that they were doing battle reports, I was like, oh, that's cool because I could see watching some of that because it was just well done. I'd never seen it in that format. I was like, oh, that makes sense. There's the dice rolls. You can pay attention to your different screens real quick. And when they had the moving camera right on the TM, his name was Blood Angels Commander, I think. And it was just someone I happened to like come across, and I went there, and it was a cool like battle report. They do some crazy like his way of breaking down like army lists. A lot of his content will be army list breakdown, but it's like he has these like crazy graph charts and everything. It was so amazing. I'm like, all right. And I think he's only been doing it like 8 months or something, but he already has like 5,000 subs. And I was like, oh, okay. I see why you have 5,000 subs because he's like hardcore about it. It's just cool. Like puts a lot of time and effort. So it was good for me to see too.
Yeah, let's say it's the like battle reports wise, the only one that I've really watched recently would be obviously a Titanicus one, which is Tabletop Standard, who do really good sort of Titanicus themed.
Oh, I have to watch one of those. I didn't even think about that. I would watch a Titanicus one.
Yeah, the guys that run it are sort of really like obviously into Titanicus and
Yeah.
doing their sort of YouTube for a couple of years now, sort of thing. But they even done Chris, who's like one of the main guys of Tabletop Standard. He done a selection of mini videos to show you how to play the game, basically, and he just
Okay.
breaks down each section So there's 9 videos in total. But I actually watched them all, and I actually found them quite useful because I thought, oh, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
So like a little refresher as well. So definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I was never big into any of that, or even YouTube, but I find, especially with like drawing all the time, I'll try to put more stuff on in the background, and if it works, perfect. You know what I mean? Like a battle report like that, yeah, I'll catch some of it. I won't pay attention to some of it, but it's like just you get a little osmosis from like paying attention and here and there and just hey something. So it's kind of like the content I like, because if I'm drawing, I don't want to have to always try to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? But it's like something you can stop and listen to briefly.
Yeah, Crimson's here.
Hey, Crimson, thanks for swinging by. Appreciate
TM,
all the likes, people. That helps a lot. What do we got up here today? This one was so amazing when I took it. I spent way too much time this morning working on this already. I don't know how many hours I already put into this stupid thing. Because it was awesome, and it had the water, right? So this was my thought process. It was so cool, first off, and then it has this nice clear blue water, like almost like you would see in like I don't know, I always think of the like, naval paintings, and just it was real clean water, which almost goes against my whole thought process of 40K, right? So I would be like, you would never see a clean drop of water in anything I did 40K. But so I remember his diorama, the other one in the water, and I loved it because it was that contrast. It's like this nice clear water, you know, and I was like, oh wow, I'm like, I really have to, you know, I just didn't know what I was gonna do. So I was like, all right, I gotta try it because this is what, you know, I like learn on this stuff. So I got this far and I want to do some more like lighting on it to get I should almost reference. I loved like some of the oil paintings of like the stuff at the ships at sea, and they have some great depth and light because you get that whole like the whole line of the sky and the line of the sea with the lighting and everything. And so I wanted to do that, and I'm going to add a little more in here. But I like where it's at so far. I was like, I got most of like the lighting blocked in, and I was almost like he's overheating because I'm like, oh, you have the heat, so he's literally trying to get by the water to cool the machine down. You know, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna make it that. That's like what's happening in my mind. So I was like, all right, he's literally trying to get towards the water.
I like the little buoy or buoy, as you would call it.
Yeah, yeah.
See, Rob, I've known of Rob for about a year. Um, well, yeah, basically from like various Titanicus groups and the Titan Owners Club, where he's done a whole load of. Because this model here, right, is a foot tall.
Oh wow.
Just so people who haven't seen one of these things, that's a foot tall model. That's not the small one. That's the big one.
Oh, see, that's why I like to have experienced people on the show because I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Yeah,
it's also the only knight I do not possess. So,
what's the name of the knight?
it's the Acastus Atreus.
Okay.
So it's the Mechanicum version of the Porphyrion, and it comes with 2 heavy conversion beamers, which basically just they get stronger at range. So at long range, they're really high powered. It's just like the energy builds up over distance.
That's cool.
But all his models have done like with this water effect, like strolling out of the sea, like James Bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
His other ones, he's got like, which he's got the full size Titans in particular. He's got this Reaver Titan, which is doing this like a high stomp. He's lifted one leg up quite high, stomped down on top of a gun emplacement, and it's just really incredibly imaginative posing. Because with this one, as I said, it's the only knight I don't possess because I never liked it. I didn't like how it was shaped and that. But after seeing what Rob has done with it, I'm having severe second thoughts.
Yeah.
I kind of like it how he's done it.
See, I don't even know if I ever saw this one before, but seeing this one, I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I'm just seeing one angle, mind you, but I'm like, "Oh, I like that carapace on there and the shoulder pads. Like, I dig this." And I was like,
Mm.
I didn't recall seeing it because what is that? Like a rocket launcher on its back?
Yeah, it's like it's a mortar type weapon. I can't remember what his actual specific.
Yeah,
He basically fires little rag bombs,
yeah.
from what I remember, I think. Um, but yeah, it's slightly different to because this is the Mechanicum version of a particular knight class.
Okay.
The Imperial version, which is the Porphyrion, has two thick. Well, there's four magma laser cannons, so they're basically
Oh, I
anti-titan.
see it because there's two and two.
Yeah, but they're not like how these are on like arms. The Porphyrion are fixed into the shoulders, and they just stand out as, like these four cannons, and they have a different set of rockets, like anti-infantry rockets on the top. But yeah, Rob is a very talented hobbyist painter, and
Yeah, obviously. I was like, wow, what is this? What am I doing here? Studio pen. Is this?
little arrows, a toffee troll.
Yeah.
As someone was watching Pacific Rim and really liked Cherno Alpha.
I think I saw the first one.
Yeah, the first one was cool. Second one, because it didn't have was it Charlie Hoffman
Okay, yeah.
in it, but yeah, it had like Idris Elba in it. So it was, it was all right. But I think obviously the first one was a little bit more like had more about it because of all the sort of big robots and
Yeah.
kaiju involved.
Yeah. See, I didn't even see the second one. They have a. I don't know if it was on. Was it Netflix or something? They have an animated one for that. So
Yeah.
I saw. Yeah. I saw it on there. I think it was Netflix. It's one of those services because I'm actually watching it. Don't ask me what it's about. So there was an animated one, and I saw that up there.
Yeah, I'm actually watching on Netflix. A friend of mine was really. I was talking to him the other day, and he was really animated. Said, "Oh, you got to watch it! You got to watch it! It's one of my favourite shows." It's an animation called Space Dandy, and it's 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 just kind of it's funny. It's not what I normally watch, but I'm watching it and I'm kind of enjoying it. But it's just like one of those like big ego characters, Space Dandy, and he's got this big
Yeah.
style, like sort of like a Johnny Bravo hairstyle. Um, but yeah, it's all right. It's enjoyable. It's got some interesting characters in there. Several episodes in.
Oh,
Look at
this.
that beast. That's so nice.
Yeah, this thing was cool. That was a great.
The Volkite cannons under its armpits.
Oh yeah, what is that? A Volkite cannon?
Volkite, yeah, it's basically like they incinerate you in a way. So, like
What I find funny,
they
it looks
attack.
like they have scopes on them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you've got to pick out your targets and then turn them to ash. Just put holes through you.
Oh yeah, that's why the hoses are so detailed. Is because that's a full size, not full size, but you know what I mean. It's the larger size.
The daddy version, yeah.
Yeah.
They come in various. You can get them in pistols, carbines, rifles,
Hmm.
cannons, and those things, and even super heavy battle tanks, which is well, he's actually the glaive, Felglaive. Oh, no, is it Felglaive? I think it's Felglaive, yeah, or glaive tank, super heavy tank has a big one of them, which just destroys things. It's brilliant.
Chris Topher, thanks for reading the White Dwarf article. Appreciate it. King Crimson, to answer your question, so I'm going over that one. I'm going to work on this one. and this one. I was going to try to do a fourth. I got all distracted, spent too much time on a couple of these already, and I was like, oh man, what am I doing? But that's the way it goes. Um, One thing I should say, I don't know, Sunday. Okay, so I got some work from Mantic Games. That's why hence it says secret Mantic work project. I had to cover them up so I wouldn't give anything away. I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. What's funny is they obviously know I do a YouTube, and so I'm like, oh gosh, it's going to be like having someone who's employed you watch you. You know what I mean? Like I'm like not used to that. And then so I started like getting some into them or whatever, getting turning some into as a work in progress. And I just happened to ask. I was like, hey, would you want to be on the live stream? I was like, I don't, I'll learn more about. I know some about Mantic games and that, but I was like, I'll learn more. You could talk like kind of like you and I do. I'm like, I talked to him, and so they said yes. So Rob's gonna come on. I'm gonna do it Sunday, probably around this same time. I'm gonna like confirm all that, and then tweet about it or whatever. But so I'm going to have Rob from Mantic on. We're just going to talk some about Mantic games and that kind of thing, so I can learn more about it and just talk hobby and whatever, kind of like you and I do. So that one's going to go down on Sunday. So I'm excited for that, and that's one of the things I wanted to bring up. I got to get a lot of organization going on. I got more things going on than I thought I would.
And we've got a couple of fans of Space Dandy, and with Martin and AF, both enjoying Space Dandy. As I say, it's not what I normally would watch when I watch anime, but then he does have a very sort of roguish charm, and he's got his QT, which is a little robot assistant who's basically just trying to get their spaceship to run properly,
Yeah.
and they've got this cat creature from Beetlejuice. So yeah, it's enjoyable, and there's lots of like there's like a space Hooters they frequent called Boobies. So yeah, the first 3 words in the first episode is boobs, boobs, boobs. So that's the sort of level we're dealing with. So it's humorous, it's funny, it has its bits and pieces. But yeah, I'm just watching. I'm still in the first season of it.
I was watching. Oh gosh, now I want to know the one. There's some. It's a British show, and the one funny guy is the captain of the ship. Oh man, now I don't even want to know it. I'll have to come back to that because I can't remember his name. Uh, he's. I think he's the guy that's always with Simon Pegg.
Oh, Nick Frost.
Yeah.
That would have been
What was that?
Hyperdrive, I think he was on.
Yes, that's it. So I was watching some of that. So I'm like, whatever, 4 episodes in or something.
There was one actually on. It might be on Amazon Prime, or it might be on Netflix, which had Claudia Christian on, who she played Lieutenant Commander Susan Ivanova on Babylon 5.
Okay.
She's playing a semi-serious role in a comedy sort of rip-off of Star Trek called Star Hike, which came out years ago. It was so like it's like a B movie straight to DVD type thing.
Yeah.
Like, it is out there. If anyone likes watching those sort of not A-list type.
Yeah. There's some good ones once in a while.
Every now and again, they creep in.
Yeah. They can surprise sometimes.
Early Dune news.
Is there early Dune news?
Yes, this afternoon, Denis Villeneuve came out and done a live sort of like an address saying that Dune will be shown in like one of those like super IMAX cinemas.
Okay.
That's where it's like its premiere is going to be, And it's basically just saying like you've got to watch it in IMAX to truly appreciate it or whatever. Trying to get us back into the cinemas. But
Yeah.
so there was sort of semi-due news about its release in September.
And when did you say November?
September.
September?
Well, that's when the premiere is. It's in September. So I don't know what date. He didn't say, but
yeah, they probably don't.
Hmm.
I
But,
wonder how are people going to the theater? I mean, over here, I think theaters are open. I don't. Yeah, they gotta be. They gotta be open. I don't know how
they're
they're
open over
probably
here.
busy. Everything I drive around and see a lot of busy stuff.
Limited, obviously, capacities.
Yeah, I'm sure they're limited here too.
Yeah, there are certain cinemas that are open because I have a friend who is a cinema holic. He would go to, he literally does, well, used to go to the cinema at least once a week
Yeah,
with his other half to watch whatever movies were there, sort of thing. All sorts and stuff.
yeah. There was a
But
place. There was a theater by my house. It was like I think what was it? Well, at the time it was $5. So it was like $5 if you went before like noon or one. You know, it would be like the new movies, whatever. And so sometimes you're like, oh, okay, I'll go watch a movie right now. You know, just like I might as well go see it in the theater for $5.
yeah, I haven't seen. Last time I went to the cinema, but I have a disagreement with my girlfriend was that I thought that we went to see Endgame at the cinema, but she says we didn't. I said, no, I'm sure we did. Absolutely certain we went. But she said, no, I haven't seen it. I went, I'm sure we have. But then it might have been the proliferation of watching scenes on YouTube and stuff. That I may even just dreamt that I'd actually seen it. I don't know.
Yeah, wait, what? I know. Wow, I can't remember what the last movie is I saw in a theater.
It was definitely Deadpool 2. It was the definite confirmed one that I saw.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. I can't remember the last movie I saw. Toffee Troll, you have a good one? The Sauron one, King Crimson. I'll have to look. I'm sure I saw it. The one, yeah, the dino, the big red dino one. I think.
Grass. Yeah, I was been working all week. I'm actually working without a day off this week because my boss is away. So it's just really tired.
Yeah.
I haven't got a day off until Tuesday next week. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so it's
Are
been
you
very
gaming
tiring.
tonight?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't stop my
Yeah,
relaxation.
you still, yeah,
This is downtime with you guys and girls and everyone else who is in the crowd.
yeah. Well, I know that's what's funny is I started looking, and I never not enjoyed this, but for me it's always funny that I look forward to it because I just did not see myself. Oh, I'll get on YouTube and have a stream with some dude I never met, across the world. Like that was not on my big list of hey, that's going to excite me to do. So it's been funny because I like look forward to. It. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get to chat with Lee, see what's up. So probably missed out on a bunch of stuff and figure out.
Well, so we've done a little bit of the current affairs with the Warhammer Plus. So yeah, we are up to date. We're bringing the information to the
Yeah,
masses.
see, we broke the news.
We wrote the news about an hour and a half after they did.
Yeah. We gave you the inside scoop.
Yeah, after you've seen it everywhere else, but we brought it to you live.
Exactly. We've supplied you with it. Someone here probably didn't know.
True.
We did our job. Crimson, what are you working on? Are you working on any models right now? Yeah, is anyone working on any models right now as we speak?
No, because I'm talking to you.
Yeah, you just need to change your camera view, and then we can have you building something.
Yeah, true.
Which I think for one of them, I am going to. That's what I have to talk to you. I might buy a Titan and then assemble it for the first time on stream. And so then I figure drag you along because then I can have someone directly answer questions as I get frustrated and work on it.
Oh, Scott, don't put that there.
Yeah, do not do that. Like, I want good
don't trust
weapon
the
combos.
streams.
Yeah. Whatever you do.
Don't cross the streams. Crimson's on Custodes, and
Oh,
AF
yeah,
is on
that's
Sisters.
right. Yeah.
So we've got 2 of the talents being worked on in
The
the chat.
Sisters of Silence, that army, so that's one of that really sticks out to me. So like the Sisters armies, they have such that they feel so 40K. It's like they have like gothic architecture all built, you know what I mean? That's what it is to me, that they feel super 40K to me.
Sisters of Silence are heresy, and they're not what you think they are.
Oh, I was thinking of the Sisters. Wait, Sisters of Silence?
Sisters of Silence are part of the Imperial, well, the Talons, as they're called, the Emperor's Talons, and they are basically the Custodes are one part.
Yeah.
The Sisters of Silence are the other part. Now, the Sisters of Silence are basically the women warriors, and they have the unique trait is that they are pariahs or blanks, which are anti-psychers.
Okay.
So basically, they give a sense like psychers are really uncomfortable in their presence,
Yeah.
and so basically they have this nullifying effect to psychers. So
Okay.
when they're in close proximity to psychers can't use their powers. So and they go around on the what they call the black ships, collecting psychers from planets all throughout the Imperium to bring back to Terra for either training up as astropaths or basically sticking them into the Golden Throne now,
Yeah.
or charging the Emperor because he burns through 1,000 a day.
It's a heavy toll.
Yeah, but the Sisters of Silence are really kick-ass, and they don't talk, hence the silence. They are really awesome badasses, and as I say, they take on all comers. They're a next
Wait,
level.
is that the ones that are from the war suits with the war suits that have been coming out?
No, that's Sisters of Battle.
That's
So
what? Sisters of Battle. Yeah.
They came after the heresy. So they're something completely different to because when the Inquisition was founded at the sort of end part of the heresy,
Yeah.
like the first seeds of the Inquisition was created during the Siege of Terror. And then later on, after the Emperor has been interred and everything's going a little bit wonky, the Inquisition started forming into these people going out hunting down all the bad dudes and stuff. And then you got the different types of Inquisitors start to develop.
Yeah.
So like the anti-Xenos, the anti-heretic, and the anti psyker sort of thing, and demon. And each of them had their own sort of armed force. So anti-Xenos get Death Watch. The Ordo Hereticus or the Ecclesiarchy have the Sisters
I
of
didn't
Battle.
know how that worked. So I was familiar with the other stuff, but I didn't know that's how that worked. Okay.
Yeah. And the Ordo Malus, who are out there, have the Grey Knights, which we don't know anything about, and we never will mention them again because otherwise we will get exterminated. Do not talk about them, ever.
Wait. They're from who? Who are they teamed up with? The whatchamacallit for killing chaos, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were Grey Knights were created again in the last days of the heresy of the Siege of Terror, really, where Malcador the Sigillite, who was like the second in command and the greatest human psyker. Obviously, you've got the Emperor, who's not technically human anymore, I suppose, in a way. I don't know. he was trying to create a force that will basically, would be the savior of humanity and defend humanity from chaos and stuff. And they recruited several warriors, from loyalist or traitor legions, who had psychic potential, and basically gave them the moon of Saturn, known as Titan, as theirs. But there was all bases and stuff, but they relocated the moon of one of the moons of Mars, Deimos, to orbit Titan. So a moon had its own moon.
Wow.
Because Deimos is a forge as well. So Deimos would provide arms and armament for Titan. And then after they got all those key players they've been searching for, and recruits and stuff, and other personnel all on Titan, they basically, the Sigillite created a warp bubble around it all, which made it disappear from real space, and put it into a pocket within the warp.
Oh, okay.
So it disappeared for, I think, 10 to 12 years, and then it reappeared. So after the heresy had been sorted out, the moon came back. But for everyone on Titan, it had been at least 200 odd years.
Oh, wow.
So when they came back, they had all these. The Grey Knights had been founded, and the gene seed implanted, and army of super psychic badasses was running around, going out hunting down demons and chaos things.
Yeah, I did not know that. So see there, even learned more again.
Indeed. Because there was the whole thing about Deimos going there is quite. It's a bit of was it like an Easter egg in a way?
Okay.
Because if you collect heresy, like Horus Heresy armies and stuff, they have Deimos patterned weapons and vehicles.
Right. That's right. That's where I heard the term.
And then towards the end of the heresy, it becomes Phobos, because Deimos is.
Oh, wow.
All the manufacturing went over to there. So we have the Phobos pattern Land Raider and Phobos pattern Rhino. It all went to there for manufacturing.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, there's your lesson for today.
Yeah. I always was remember it. I always want to do some. There's gotta be some like factions that went to chaos, like some Marines that went to chaos, but some of their soldiers remain good. There's got to be some of that, right?
Yeah. There was traitors and loyalists. I don't think well, it's weird because like the Ultramarines, they got obviously quite badly mauled at the earlier start, like the start of the heresy. So I don't see a lot of them obviously throughout history afterwards, because they make up most of the like imperial chapters of Ultramarines.
Yeah.
But obviously there have been later generations of Ultramarines that did go over to like renegades or traitors or whatever. Well, renegades basically, because they're not traitors. Because traitors are, that name's held for the legions. So the original legion are traitors. Others are basically, chaos renegades type thing. So with there was like Sons of Horus. There was several notable loyalists. Garviel Loken being the most famous, I suppose. Death Guard, both loyalists. Mentioned one is Nathaniel Garrow.
So he's a loyal Death Guard.
Yeah, he was the Death Guard that basically brought the warning to the Emperor. Well, to Dawn anyway. He was warned by his like blood brother Soltarvitz.
Oh, I know that name. Yeah.
Yeah, Soltarvitz. He was going down to warn all the loyalists on Isstafan 3 that they were about to get bombed by virus bombing. And as he was trying to make his dash to the planet, Nathaniel Garrow's strike cruiser was the ship that was nearest to him. and he was basically pleading with him. He said, "Look, for a brother, like, we are brothers, even though we're from different legions. We are brothers, and this is happening. I've got to warn people. It's down to you. If you're going to shoot me down, you're going to shoot me down, sort of thing." And Garrow's like, "Okay, we'll just shoot near to them, make it look like we shot them." And then he basically got his group to, fake engine problems, and then made a dash for it. And then they were trying to get back to Terra to warn the Emperor of what was going down at Istvan 3. So, but yeah, there's loads of like the whole Garrow story arc within the Heresy deals with him recruiting loyalists from even traitor legions, sort of thing, because they were like loyalist world eaters, loyalist Emperor's children, all sorts, and they went out and found them.
Huh.
And vice versa, where like Raven Guard at the drop site massacre, there were Raven Guard that joined the traitors, and there were loyalist Night Lords who joined the Raven Guard. One of my favourite little short stories is one called "The Value of Fear," where you have two. You have a Raven Guard sergeant and this Night Lord who's working with them as they're hunting down these traitors and stuff. And they're
But you can't, as far as the game goes, well, 40K, you don't have like a loyalist Death Guard army, do you?
You can do.
Oh, okay.
Basically, you are restricted though with the traitors, because certain units you can't take if you're loyalists.
Because like some possessed unit or something.
Well, there's that, but there's certain with the Death Guard in particular, because I was going to do Death Guard as my first Heresy army, because I like the idea. I like Garrow. I like the color scheme and all that sort of stuff. But some of their better units, like the Death Shroud Terminators, they are an elite formation who are the personal bodyguard of Mortarion.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be loyalists. They're going to basically follow the Primarch and the Grave Wardens as well. And it says in the books, you can only choose these if they're traitors, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So the same with Emperor's Children. There's a lot of the stuff that you can't take. Well, some of the stuff you got, Cacophony, which are the Noise Marines.
Yeah.
You can't take them if you're loyalist. You can't have Fulgrim if you're loyalist. You can't have Eidolon if you're loyalist. So certain characters are restricted.
Yeah. Okay.
From you. So yeah, because my Emperor's Children were loyalists to start with, but you have to buy those characters.
But they chased power. They went after power.
But they have some really great, really nice models and everything. Although the Thousand Sons, it doesn't say you can only take this. I think, well, maybe Magnus it does.
Yeah.
In certain things, they normally when they have the special units, you say oh, you can only take this if it's a traitor. But I'm sure it doesn't say anything like that. So there's no either way apart from the main, big bad sort of thing. In Magnus and Araman maybe, and Ammon.
Huh.
Or they just don't list it.
I'm gonna erase some of this
here. The Death Eaters had some loyalists that returned to speak of the Istvan 3 massacre.
I was like, imagine if you were, I don't know, whatever unit, a traitor, like your whole rest of you turned traitor, but you were caught in the warped even during the whole Horus Heresy, so you remained loyalist and then you came back, and your whole faction would be twisted, but you that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that I'm sure that sort of thing happened because not necessarily all the troops and stuff were present for the fall and stuff.
Yeah.
With the Death Guard, when Mortarion was sort of brought and shown the way, and I think it was Typhon, who becomes Lord Typhus,
Yeah.
basically trying to corrupt him and all that, and Mortarion sort of embraced it and went with it, and done his own thing.
Yeah.
But as they were travelling to the wall, that's when the Death Guard that were with him, that they were all basically exposed to the Life Eater virus, and
Yeah.
turned into what the Plague Marines, basically.
Okay.
So, whether willingly or not, I don't know. But,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
each legion generally had its own sort of like lawyers. I don't think word bearers did, because they're a bit fanatical, and do their own thing anyway. But there were definitely other ones, and again, like White Scars. A lot of White Scars went traitor.
Wait, White Scars went traitor?
Yeah, there was a big civil war, because I say civil war. There was an uprising. The ones that were traitor were convinced that they could convince the Khan to go with them. That he's been lied to and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the Khan is a believer of basically of free choice, and he let his sons do their things, and then he came to a point where he thought, hold on, this is a bit wrong. And then he came and put the smack down. So some of them realized the error of their ways, and then they basically to sort of get forgiveness sort of thing, they basically took themselves out to hunt down enemies and went for suicide. It was like suicide squads.
Yeah.
Basically. But there were a lot that didn't, and they fled. So yeah, there are them, but unlike the Dark Angels, they didn't really hide. They may not have told everybody, but they didn't necessarily talk about it. They didn't hide it as such.
Yeah.
He said these people were traitors. They don't exist with us. We're loyal.
Yeah.
So the rest of them went back to Terra, and the Dark Angels had their little spat, but they were so with the whole secrecy thing, they didn't want anyone knowing, and that's what has been driving them ever since.
Yeah.
Because of the corruption amongst the recruits.
Yeah, I knew the Space Wolves. Did they have anyone turning? I know they had the gene seed thing problem with that, but I don't know if they had any chaos troops off of it.
Later on, they have, in the 40k era, they've definitely had Space Wolves go traitor and that, or go renegade.
Yeah.
Not so much in the heresy, because of the whole. There was a little bit of an issue, because the Primarch was having a moment of crisis, because up until a certain point, everything he'd done had basically really screwed things up for people. So the whole thing about Prospero, he was only meant to have gone there to arrest Magnus, but instead engaged in a full planetary assault.
Shit happens, bruh.
Shit happens, yeah. So
It's a Space Wolf you're telling. Sometimes,
but then he found out
I'm just supposed to chit chat, but a full-on brawl broke out. Do planetary bombing, dude. Went for a chit chat, stayed for a planetary bombing.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, he obviously, after realizing that he'd been manipulated into doing that, he started doubting everything. So he had he locked himself away in his room on his ship, and was looking through the runes and stuff, trying to search for the truth or whatever that he could find. And his commanders started second guessing him, and started oh well, we're going to do this, and one of them was going, no, You wouldn't like that. No, we were doing this sort of thing. So there was a little bit of not like any sort of fisticuffs between them, but there were
Yeah, but yeah,
like,
just
splitting as such. And then the Wolf King basically came to a conclusion and got involved and went for it and went back to Terra, had a chat with Malcador and that, and then decided, oh, I'm going to stay around here. I'm going to go out and hunt down Horus, which he did. And that's the story of in Wolfbane when the Space Wolves find the Lunar Wolves or Sons of Horus and have a fisticuffs with them.
what book is that?
Wolfbane.
Okay.
So there was the story. The first part I was telling you about when he was having a crisis moment. That was Wolf King,
Okay.
and when that was released, a lot of people, well, some people, certain people who were like really hardcore Space Wolves fans, didn't like what they was reading. That Lehman Russ was shown to be sort of, fallible.
Oh yeah,
And
I would just toss those parts aside. So I wouldn't even read those parts where he was shown to be fallible.
well, from you got to remember that Primarchs are based on flawed genetics, as in
Yeah.
human.
Oh, for
So
sure.
everything is magnified, and obviously he's committed to genocide. Um, completely has destroyed like another legion and badly damaged his own legion in doing so. Then he's done something else, which again didn't help things out. And he's basically, I think he's like, "What the hell's going on? I don't know what's up or what's down. I can't speak to anyone." And he started to sort of like, second guess himself. So that's what he was showing, that he was trying to come to terms with what's happened, that he'd been manipulated, and that he was trying to, figure out a path. And he does, and then he goes, and as Matt says, Wolfbane, love it, because it is the Space Wolves doing what the Space Wolves do. As lots of Space Wolves would like to mention to you, is that they are the Emperor's executioners, and that's what they go to do with Horus.
Yeah.
As we know in the Heresy, that didn't quite work.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, you know, buddy?
Hey, thanks for making it.
But yeah, during the Heresy, they were primarily loyal. Blood Angels were fairly loyal. There was one instance during Sigma's Prime when some Space Wolves that were with them didn't come away from Cygnus Prime, and it wasn't because of the. But yeah, there's been lots of little bits and pieces of stuff that might happen here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Between
Because yes, they do that. It's big. It's a big universe out there.
yeah, oh totally, yeah. But yeah, I think I don't know if there was any like traitor Imperial Fist, because all the Imperial Fists were pretty much on Terra at the start anyway,
Yeah.
or near to it.
Apothecary, when's your next live stream? I stopped by. What did I go see? The Lonely Havoc and whatchamacallit?
Crimson. Well, gents, I'm looking for a bit. Save the June news. I've already sort of told it. Was you here?
There hasn't been much coming out that I've heard from any movies or anything.
Nah, not really. I was actually watching one of those like lore channels of about June. So I was watching that this afternoon after I watched the Denis Villeneuve thing. So
I'm
just
just
learning more lore.
I'm just worried it's going to be like, and I always know to have lower expectations with these things, but in the first one, I guess I don't know. I hope I don't know if I can overcome my own internal bias of how much I like the first one. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'll be good. Like, as soon as you have a different art style or something, oh yeah, no, I don't like that. So I'm like, I'm wondering how I'm gonna do with like a remake of it. You know, I think I like. Was it Momo? How do you say his last name? Jason.
Jason Momoa.
I think from what the preview I saw, I'm like, okay, I could see him as that character. Like, I think that would be really cool. But you know, you got to see it all come together. And I guess in my mind, when you're redoing a classic, it's like like I don't know if someone goes, oh, I'm going to repaint the Mona Lisa. You know, let me like I'm going to do a new spin on that. It's like, okay, good luck.
Yeah, no, say with that's the thing though. Jason Momoa actually looks closer to the actual character in the books because Duncan Idaho is dark haired, you know,
Yeah,
sort of dark eyed, and this, tall, dark, and handsome. Whereas in the David Lynch film, he was blonde
yeah,
um, and dusty. But it's that's the thing with the Dune movie that they done in the 80s. Obviously, it was different to the books in a
oh
few.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but the other parts, like this one, will hopefully be closer to the books. Apart
yeah,
from the one switch they've done with Liet Kynes, where they've changed it from male to a female
yeah,
character or actor playing the part. Um, it is probably going to be a lot closer. And as I said, where I think I know where the first one's going to end
mm-hmm.
uh, is a bit that wasn't included in the original Dune movie. It's quite an intricate part of the actual book.
Yeah, yeah,
Where this thing happens, we see this opening segments of it in the story in David Lynch's book is when they climb the mountain after the sandworm and they meet Stilgar and the Fremen.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you remember that Spice Diver YouTube video where they've edited all the cutscenes that they found into the movie,
Oh, okay.
you actually see the bit I'm talking about in that. So that Spice Divers version, I actually prefer overall because it fills in a lot of blanks and makes the movie actually more understandable
Yeah, yeah.
with the content.
I will end up checking that out. Gosh, this is a cool. How much does this thing cost in pounds? What are you looking at for this thing?
About £340.
Whew.
When the first one came out, which was several years ago, so about 2016, I think, it was £320. I personally, as a hobbyist, I was expecting it to be about 280, which I thought was probably a good price point
Yeah.
because of the size of it, for one, because it is the similar height to a Warhound Titan.
Oh, all right.
And back then, a Warhound Titan without any weapons was £280. So I thought, well, like for like, that should be about that sort of price. That would be a good price point, about 280. But it came out at 320, and I thought, well, if you're going to buy that at 320 for another sort of 40 quid, you can have a fully kitted out Warhound, which is more formidable, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
I've always felt that this was
Oh, yeah. When you're
overpriced.
spending this much money, you better get
Yeah,
something that. Yeah.
yeah. So I've always been a little bit, and as I said, because initially I didn't like the look of this one, and I said from when I first saw the pictures, I don't like it, and you don't want to spend
Yeah.
£300
No way.
something that you're not that keen on it. But as I said to you earlier, after seeing what Rob has done with this,
I know this thing is so cool.
yeah, because it's the only knight I've got every class of knight, every version apart from this one. So
Really?
yeah,
You damn, dude.
I love Knights and Titans. Have you not
That's
noticed?
no joke, dude. That's cool. What number are you? Are you doing your stream Saturday?
Yep. And we'll be doing number 99.
Number 99, huh?
So, because I've had no days off this week, hobbying has been limited. So,
Yeah.
last night after I got in, well, Tuesdays and Thursdays after work, I see my kids.
Yeah.
So I didn't get home until about 9:30.
I am going to mute me real quick and go feed the dog. So
You do
I
that.
will be right back. I am muted.
And he is gone. So we've got the miniature apothecary. So your stream is on tomorrow night. Awesome. And I'll try to pop in if I get the opportunity. It's tomorrow, Thursday. I'll be at the kids, so I might only just pop in and say hi, and then have to disappear again because you know what kids are like. Crimson, no, but we need to find a new meme. We always need to find new memes. You know, we can't just keep with the same one all the time. We need to expand, evolve, create, become awesome. As I like to say, anyway. So yes. So yeah, how's your space sharks? Carcharodon astra. How are they coming along, mate? Because I've not really been able to do any sort of social media for the last 3 days. Just don't have the time to actually just go on and perv over models, which is a shame because I enjoy doing that. It's always fun. Brass. But yeah, so apart from that, oh, damn, that model is so nice. It looks like an oil painting. Just looking at it, it's just like an oil painting. That's just really, really. Oh. Rob, if you're watching, you're a lucky sod. 1 unit of a demi company might build them tonight. Why not? If you're in the mood for some hobby shenanigans and doing some more awesome space sharks, yeah, why not? Do it, dude. Go for it and live the hobby dream. I know you always do. Every time I see you, you are living the hobby dream. Yeah, that's the Stuart was saying, Scott was saying, sorry, Stuart, that's my boss. Scott was saying earlier on that he liked, obviously, with the base where he's wading into the water, so he wanted to feel like the weapon was overheating. He's going to dip it.
He's
Cool it down.
overheated.
Yeah, cool it down. Yeah, conversion beams. I like the. Don't know if you remember, Scott, in the old Rogue Trader era when conversion beamers used to fire, they literally converted you into something else.
Oh gosh. But wait. So I still got my Rogue Trader, which I'm bummed because the glue dries out on those and they always like start pulling away or whatever. And mine got used. Why was that in? Why do I remember that though? And it would, I thought there was some other spell or something that would convert you a conversion beam.
There's conversion shields as well.
Well, I knew that one.
Yeah, he converted the energy into something else. I always like the thought of like being shot by a las cannon and it turns into a banana. Boom! Shield goes off and suddenly banana, bowl of fruit, penguin. You know, as the shield kicks into random overdrive.
It's like, they don't do displacer fields anymore, do they?
No, again, that was a great little shield. Like displacing, just move you a couple of inches away from where the shot was.
Yeah, dude, that was always interesting.
Yeah, so it's just the Iron Halo. What is Matt? You might know what's the because you had the Iron Halo for Space Marines, and there was like another shield type. I can't remember what the name of it was. That's bugging me now. That is really bugging me.
That red one, thanks, Apothecary. Yeah, I was trying to figure out something for it. I needed the color. I wanted the color to go with his eyes and bring in some red.
You know what you could do with that as well?
What's that?
Sparkles.
It's got. I have sparkles. I did a
Oh,
painting.
there it is.
Oh yeah, I went less. Wait, I want to. I did one intentionally with no sparkles. I like this one I just did. Someone took an awesome photo.
Oh,
Yeah, isn't that thing cool? Look at this
that is
photo.
awesome.
So
A little person looking up to it as well.
yeah, so that was the original photo, and then gave
Wow,
him.
that is really, really good. And to say what you've done there with the all the lighting effects, it's like it's like a fire demon.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I wanted. It's like it's like yeah, so it's like half molten or whatever. Why is my? I keep dying, but I got this thing plugged in. It should be going.
I know what it is. Refractor shield.
Oh yeah.
Shield's the only one they've kept or they redid. Oh wow, that's the little gene stealer dude.
Yeah.
And you see it's the command table there. Because I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you're there. Most of the other guys will probably know, but the little 3D hologram part of this model is actually an overhead view of Warhammer World.
Oh, is it? What a
And the
cool
office.
crypto fact.
Yeah. So if you looked on it face down, you would actually have the actual building shape of the offices and Warhammer World itself. So
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Lee dropping some knowledge.
I have my moments. They're few and far between. They'll just see a repulsor there. Yeah, Matt's just confirmed it is the refractor shield.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's the lesser version of the Iron Halo. The budget version.
It's
Not
just
as
like,
good as
and that's why I gotta start. I'm gonna start with a couple of the small games just to get something playing again. And I know I can get a friend or two to play that, and that way I'll just like get in the swing of playing some games. I'll do like some Necromunda and some other stuff just to like warm up to it. Because it's such a time commitment to play. You know what I mean? Like by the time you like put together the whole thing, that's why I like. Part of me is okay, Mechanicus. I love I love the Titans. You know what I mean? Like okay, get a few, field some, paint those, and just have them, and then play some of that, which that might be happening.
Yeah, I don't know. You might be lucky. There's certain places like certain like maybe hobby stores and that out in your neck of the woods that still have the Precept Maniple box set.
Which one?
It's called the Precept.
Okay.
Battle group or whatever.
All right.
It was the last like army box set they brought out for in April because it's already sold out over here.
Okay, I'll look for it then.
Yeah, because it's the best. You know how I like value.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of it too. So that's what I was gonna. That's why I wanted to talk to you about it. Okay, so yeah,
if you can find one of them, that's like hobby gold, and it will save.
So that okay, I'll be on the lookout for that because that's what I was going to ask you. I was like, okay, what if I go in for bang for the buck for something? What would I get? And so okay.
If you can't find that, the next best thing is the starter set, which is you get 4 Titans. So you get 2 Warhounds, 2 Reavers, and 2 Knights, Serapis Knights.
Yeah.
There's the rules and everything, but that's the next best value for money.
So good. So there,
I got that one will be constant. That's not going away until they replace it with a new version. But if you can find a Precept box set,
I'll dig around because there'll be some places around here, and sometimes the odd ones sit around forever.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely get it because it's the best value uh, army box set ever for
Okay.
anything in the world, universe, galaxy.
I like it. Bold claims.
Nice. So say if you want, if you DM me your address and that, I'll send you over the rule book and stuff because I may have bought several starter sets during lockdown.
I'm like, don't tempt me because I might take you up on that. Just so
But you know, that's the thing with when you're buying starter sets because of the value for money, you end up with a lot of books and tokens and cards and stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
rather than just
I,
sitting in a box, if you wanted them, just send me your thing and I'll send it over.
all right, I'll take you up on that, dude. That because I don't know. I know I like the way I'll play, and I saw enough of it to know, you know what I mean, now what's going on with that game.
Hmm. No, no,
And
it's
you know
such a
what
fun
really gets me is people like you when you're doing your buildings and other things. And I'll see the little vehicles. I'm like, oh gosh, that sense of scale. I'm like, I want to like look. I look at the buildings. You know, what kind of terrain do they have for this?
game. Well, they have their own sort of buildings. You can actually get, which a lot of people use, um, is Drop Zone Commander, which is a game
Mm-hmm.
which has been out a few years, but they have like a battlefield in a box type thing.
Yep.
So you get like a paper play mat, which is like 6x4 ish, and then loads of like card buildings you can put together.
Okay.
So as an entry level sort of something that's cheap without committing
Yeah.
to it, you know, for what I paid for mine was like I've never even opened the box. I've got one. I've never
Yeah.
opened. But that's £20. That'd be about you know just under $30. I would have thought
Yeah.
for yourself. But that would give you a similar scaled cityscape because you need to have buildings
Oh yeah. Yeah.
because yeah, otherwise it doesn't. You just otherwise if you've got no sort of like blocking terrain, you're just
Well,
standing
and
on.
I should bust it out. I got like an FDM, whatever they're called, the not the resin printers, but the other one. I got one of
Oh
those.
yeah,
Like I should like just print up some quick stuff just to have for that. So I was like, oh, if I get it, I'll run some prints because I haven't used it in like 4 months. I probably need to.
yeah. There's actually a grimdark terrain, I think they're called.
Yeah.
Um, and they basically they was doing like a Kickstarter or something that you join monthly and you get STLs of
Man,
buildings
there
and
that's gonna be. I mean, it's already taken off, but I just every time I think about it in my head, I'm like, that's going to be a huge thing, even more so, you know, coming up as bigger and bigger it gets, and the more people move into it, and the more talented and the more refined systems they get, and just release them, and people are going to be printing. And here's your armies. You're just getting the STL files. The company's not even going to deal in the miniatures, really. You know what I mean? There'll be a lot of different iterations of that, of like different companies having different models, you know, and
oh,
just how they market it.
yeah. So it's just it's a perilous path because obviously with all this stuff that people are like 3D printing and all that sort of stuff, it's when they start copying the IP of say,
Well, yeah, there's going to be a ton of that. I mean,
mm,
I don't know. It like that's always an issue all over the place, but it's like I feel if I was going to do something like, okay, it's going to have some similarities because they almost all do, but it would still be different enough. You know, I mean, there's still always enough room to eke out something if you're, you know, if it's something, I think if it's something you really like and you like a
mm,
certain thing and you kind of build around it, I think there's plenty of room. I happen to look at, I got to look up, like no one I know would ever even play it, but there's a game called, was it Dust's like 1947, and they
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
some miniatures I really like in that. I see some of those around. I'm like, man, I really like those miniatures.
Yeah, it's sort of like a what if sort of system. If the
Yeah, and
war,
it's kind of quirky. Like it has like a little bit of humor in it, but the
we also
designs I
like
think
the
on the
robot
battle suits
tanks,
and everything are phenomenal.
yeah, and all that jazz. But yeah, there's loads of stuff out there. So like, is there like Drop Zone Commander, Drop Fleet Commander with
Hmm.
spaceships? You've got Star Wars Armada,
And that's
Star
what
Wars Wing,
I
and all
wanted
that
to
sort of stuff.
talk to the Mantic folks because I want to. So I know some of theirs, and I haven't played any Mantic games. I One of the things that whole prompted me to ask the person on is I someone submitted a Hellboy miniature, and I love the. I don't know if they do a little. It's like a board game or a card game for it, and I love their Hellboy stuff. And
Hmm.
someone else had this huge giant, and like their giant looked really good to me. This club, and then someone took a nice photo on the angle with that thing, and so I was like, all right, I'm like, fine, I gotta do that one. So I'm like, how about I try to get someone on, and we'll talk Manic, and I'll do some Manic stuff. So that was good, and I'm curious to see. I think they're releasing another game, and I played like I played Blood Bowl. I used to play this like video game called Pigskin, and some other versions of that. So I'm always curious about. There was like another game that was sort of like a Blood Bowl, but by a different company, Death Ball, or I don't know what it was called. And so I was curious about that one too. So at least I figure on Saturday, I'm like, I never talked to this person, right? I'm like, I don't know if they know what they're in for. I'm like, this could be bad. I'm like, do it work for them? Like, hey, me asking them all these questions about their video game or their um,
If
tabletop
you don't ask
games.
questions, you don't learn anything, don't you? And
Yeah.
Rob Walters had just turned up with his Asterius.
Hey, Rob. Great model on this thing. It was crazy. So I got the breakdown. Lee gave me the breakdown on the weapons, the size of this thing, everything. That was an incredible model.
It's a beautiful, beautiful pose as well.
Yeah,
Damn
it
you, Rob!
is.
You're insane talent.
Yeah, and that's why it looks such a cool model too. It's the big ones too. Yeah, I just try to get it the area around it and have it whatever. It was intimidating because your water was so cool and it was like I don't know, it has such a mood to it. I didn't know how I was going to deal with it, but I think I like it. Man, it's a trip. Look at the little, like, I assume they're transfers. Those are cool. Oh, wait, did we lose Lee? I think we might have lost Lee. I'll look for a message. Man down, man down. His access token expired apparently. You probably Forge of Mars probably has to go game anyway. I think I'll send you an invite just in case you want to get back in. But I know you got stuff to do. I hope this doesn't. There we go. There.
No.
Oh, you're in.
Yeah, I just hacked in, used my Mechanicus skills, and
He's back. That's how quick it happens.
yeah, it just came up saying your access token has expired. Bugger off.
Heretic Wargaming Evening Heretic. Oh, I had to. I only have so much time. I think you submitted 3 pictures, and I
I've
can't even.
already finished Captain Terminator.
Wait, here, which one? Or is it the apothecary? Now I've
It's the
got
chapter.
myself confused. Let me go see right now.
It's the one that you commented on earlier on about you admire his tenacity.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So it is the. Wait, isn't it the apothecary? Right,
Chaplain.
chaplain. That's what it is. Yeah, that one's gonna get done. That one will end up getting done just because. It's just because I'm a big fan of tenacity.
Yeah, no, I was saying when you disappeared earlier on and you left this on there, it does just look like an oil painting. It's the sort of thing that you can see in a nightly hall over the huge table where all the knights are feasting after a
That's
busy
what I
day.
wanted because I remember those oil paintings of the ships at sea, and those were some of my favorites just because that color and depth was always blew my mind.
Mm, yes, yeah, no, it's an amazing model.
Heretic.
Different one every time, honest. Well,
And then it's the worst because like I hardly remember anything as it is, and let alone I'll be dealing with people. I'll be getting emails from them and their Instagram, and then they'll be on Twitter under a different name. So it's the same person, but like three different names, and have multiples of that. So it's like you feel like you're going crazy because you're like, did I just talk to you or was it you? And then what? It's the
yeah,
worst.
that's why I ended up doing the Forge of Mars across Instagram and Twitter and YouTube,
Yeah.
and just basically, I have the same thing. Like some of the guys I speak to on my stream on a Saturday night sort of thing, and I'm talking away with them and all that, and then next minute I'm looking up and what's it? Is that what could that be?
Yeah.
I don't know. That looks very similar. I don't know. Yeah, so it is confusing.
I I don't know. Okay, so this is obviously AOS, and it must be a beastman. I don't know whose
Oh,
army.
it's the new sort of like
God
uh,
of Destruction or something.
yeah, which I actually found quite odd because when I was watching the reveal uh, video they did for this a few months ago, and they said he's like the Lord of Earthquakes, where he stomps around, he causes
Yeah.
earthquakes. Right? But then he was when he was defeated before, they basically stuck it. They trapped him in a mountain, and I'm like, so the Lord of Earthquakes is stuck in a mountain. So this guy can cause earthquakes
And he's still
and put
stuck
him
in a
in
mountain.
the air. you know, you normally you'd put him in the sky where he can't do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seemed as a fluff odd. So like he can't cause earthquakes if he's in the ground. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, because that was out not too long ago, I guess.
No, it's only been a few months since it's come out, but
Yeah.
with all these little like Sagittar type leg thing going on.
Yeah, I didn't know what they're gonna have. I gotta break out the Beastmen I bought, whatever they were, like 6 months ago, and see. I'm like, I should get some of that, break it up into something, and play just because I have them.
I'm surprised there's no lightning coming in onto that weapon of his.
I was thinking of it. That was the one thing I was debating. I'm like, it's all clean, and it's like so clean. I'm like, oh, just leave it. And I was like, man, maybe I do put some kind of lightning coming in, but then I would shift it. So I was just
Mm.
that's why I'm staring at it. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, when I work on them like this, it does help me to switch between, but it also I can tell sometimes I just need like a couple hour break away from it to then look at it and you get those fresh eyes on it. Like that always makes a big difference for me when I look at stuff.
But no, it's just as it is. You just maybe a little, the wind swept. Standing there, just going,
Yeah.
ah!
Yeah. Just
I've got a club
that's what
thing.
that's another thing I thought is I was like, yeah, one thing I know about the grimdark future is they sure like to pose. Like you
Oh yeah,
color coordination and posing is way more important in the grim dark future than you would think it'd be. So like
yeah,
those are two things I learned. I'm like, man, if it always turns to a complete war torn fest, make sure you know how to color coordinate and make sure
yeah.
you know how to pose. Because if you
And,
do those two
not
things,
wear a
your survival rate probably goes way up.
yeah, not to wear a helmet as well, because obviously that's
Yeah,
important. And they can
yeah,
see your face, and that you can headbutt bullets back at them.
for
Uh,
sure.
yeah. Although it reminds me of a game I played once against my friend Simon. He had some Space Wolves, and I was with my friend. I had some Thousand Suns, and my other friend was on my side because I only had 1,000 points of Thousand Suns, and my mate Scott had a load of like Sons of Horus,
Yep.
and we're playing this game, and I had this Shadow Sword, super heavy battle tank with this like
Oh, I know that one. Yeah.
threatening killing laser cannon on it, and I shot his this librarian, like this Space Marine librarian standing there, and I shot it with this cannon, and he saved he saved it. It was an invulnerable save. And I'm like, that thing's just been shot in the face with like a Titan King gun, and he's just gone headbutted it and gone.
Yeah.
"Gah!"
You just say the emperor protects and mean it, and then you're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah. That's true. He does. The Emperor does protect. Uh,
Yeah, and you just you're like, hey, emperor ain't letting that one pass. He knows it's important that you see my flowing golden hair in combat.
yeah, not a hair was singed. He
Yeah,
literally
look at this. Not the hair.
have that. Yeah, yeah
Thanks for
it's a-
joining Heretic Wargaming, and you have a good evening. Oh, it's the Loki. When is today? No, today's not Friday, so he's watching last week's Loki. I think I.
well, there wasn't a Loki on Friday, was there? Or was
When
there?
does it come out? Every Friday or Wednesday?
I don't know. Because I didn't pay attention to it, and I watched 2 episodes,
So
and
me too. I thought so.
I thought I tuned in on Friday. Maybe I may have missed. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know either. Maybe it comes out. I
Oh,
thought it
Loki's
was just coming
Wednesday.
out.
So it's the day then.
Oh, Loki is Wednesday. Okay, so I'll end up watching that too. All right, see,
Thank you, Eric.
we learned something new. And Wolf Lord says, "Good old 4+ save on Rune Priest. It got vented the warp and cannon."
Bad Batch is Friday.
Oh yeah,
A runic armor they were. Yeah, say you just you don't expect, when he's at your mercy with a super heavy battle tank, and you shoot it and you hit it, and he just goes oop.
yeah.
Yep, your super les cannon's not going to hurt me. Um, Although on the flip side, I have had an Imperial Assassin take out a Baneblade, which was quite funny.
Yeah. See that fun stuff. That's what always I liked about the game, just the quirky stuff that would happen. And if they were, semi close battles or at least some good exchanges and stuff, you know what I mean? That always kind of made it exciting to see what could happen.
Yeah, no. So when playing games, I'm not. It's not that I'm a bad loser, but I don't like losing
Yeah.
on like technicalities or stuff like that.
Yeah, you
You
want
know,
to win. It's like it's competitive. It's not like you have to be a jerk about it, but you like to play to
yeah.
win.
No, so there was one game I was playing where we was trying out this. It was I think in seventh when I had it might be eight, I'm not sure. But it was like Maelstrom of War cards,
Yeah.
and because I didn't have like cards that was tailored towards my particular army,
Yep.
all the cards like the default cards and not like the army specific cards. They hadn't any at the time, so all the cards I'm pulling out, I can't do.
Oh
And
yeah.
all the cards he's got because he's playing Space Wolves, so even like Space Marines, or whatever, he can do everything on there. But everything I'm coming up, well, I haven't got that unit. I can't do this. I can't do that, and it just put me in a foul mood because when you can't physically win a game because the
Yeah, there's
cards,
nothing you're gonna be able to do when someone gets to use all their stuff and you can't use
yeah,
yours.
it was yeah, like I've had games where I've had really shocking bad dice rolls, but I've managed to somehow squeak a win out of it somehow, or it's like a point of draw or something. You just keep playing until the end because you never know what's going to happen. So
Well, especially like the the I'd have to learn how they do the point system now too, like scoring points basically.
hmm. Yeah, so I'd have to learn to play the game properly, really.
Yeah.
But
I
then
know.
understand.
It was just like see what happens, start fighting.
One of my Vindicars can take a lot. Once survived close quarter combat with Guilliman. I had I played against Guilliman in the Heresy with my Emperor's Children, and I killed him with Eidolon, who is like the bit in the books. He's like one of the most douchiest douchebags of a character, but his model is beautiful and his rules are awesome.
Figures.
So, but yeah, there's the photograph because I had my friend Nigel, who's a photographer. He come with us to Warhammer World when I was playing my friend Mike, and we are playing this big 2,000 odd point game of Emperor's Children versus Ultramarines, and he captured the moment when I started laughing because I couldn't believe that I just killed Gulliman with like Eidolon, and I was like big cheesy like sort of thing. The picture of it is wonderful. He done it in black and white, and he's just like this really like kiddish grin. so happy that I'd actually just killed Gulliman. Right, the purple blue sky is beautiful. AF has just mentioned.
Thank you. Trying.
Right, I think it's time for me to depart. I have to go and save the
Lee,
universe.
you have a good one. I will see you next week. I'm going to be out of here shortly myself. You get some good game time in.
Yes, thank you to everyone for joining us again this evening. It's been fun, as always, with the chat. Thank you, guys.
Lee, see you probably. I'll stop by Saturday. I should be able to see
Oh,
you.
awesome.
Have a good one, Lee.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Dun dun dun. Now I got to hold down the fort. I want to lurk. I'm trying to get. I don't know what I want. There's something I want on this one. I wanted to get the funky lighting going on, and I got it partially, but like on a lot of the free ones, I do something so I can try to learn. I'll do. I'll pick something and be like, hey, I want to try to do this with that model, and if I think I can do it relatively quick, then all the better. I'll try. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes not. I like the feel of this though. I'm trying to add energy to it, like just make it look like, I don't know what. It's been powered up or something, and I don't know what yet. Later, apothecary. Oh, this part I gotta add on. Luminescence. Oh yeah, Wolflord, I gotta pass on the finished vehicle to you later. I'll get this one out of here and send it off. There's a couple little things on the edges I want to do, but I like it. So I just want to finish some edge stuff on this because it was blurry in the edges. So to get that back out, I got to play with it. But then I'll get this one over to you. Oh wow, I didn't even do the back of this blade. I gotta erase that out of there. I'll have to watch and see what people think of the Warhammer TV thing. I hope it's cool for them. There, that looks better. I'll blur some of that. There. I think we'll call it good on these. I'll probably mess around with them a little more late tonight. I'll go over a few things, touch them all up. Wolf Lord Lewis, thanks for making it. Appreciate y'all stopping over. And I think it's Sunday. So Sunday I'll be live streaming again with Rob from Mantic Games. So I'm looking forward to that, and we can talk to them. So I'm going to start putting it out there and try to get a few people to join. So you all have a good evening, and I will talk to you